That's right. Because the price, deciding on a price is not really dealing with a problem as such, or
So
it's not really
we always
coming
determine
up
the
with
price. Okay.
or decide or fix or fix in one sense, not in another. So fix as in something broken would be more like resolve, but fix as in set the appropriate price. That might work. Um, yeah, so I think resolve here implies that there's some situation that needs resolution. It needs to be concluded rather rather than some decision that needs to be made. Whereas determine is about deciding something. Um, I think sentence, the price is set by balancing many elements. I I think elements versus factors there is almost the same. Um, if
But they
factors,
always use factors.
yeah, so I guess elements implies components rather, whereas factors implies things that need to be taken in consideration. So a factor in a decision. So if we know that we're talking about a decision, then we need to consider factors. But if we were trying to build something, we might think about the elements that went into that building. So it's a slightly different connotation. But so that's probably why they choose factors, because it's about deciding on something. If it's something that's being balanced, it's usually not elements that are balanced. Elements can be used or combined. I'm not sure exactly how to explain that, because if
No, we
factors
always use factors,
if
balancing many
factors
factors.
weren't an option, like if elements were the only option here, I would say that's fine. But the fact that factors is there, it's just slightly better. Okay, and then ultimately the final price is determined by what the market is willing to. Okay, I think determine that repetition rules out using determine, but also if we're talking about a market and what a market does, then a market is about a process of exchange. So exchange is a better choice
Exchange
as
of
a
what?
so in a market it's usually an exchange of goods or of money.
You're right.
Yeah, so a market as a subject is more likely to be involved in exchange rather than in decisions. The market, they might say sometimes that the market decides, but strictly speaking, it's in a market, people decide what they're willing to pay. So the market comes up with an exchange rate or a level of exchange. Mm.
Yeah, great, thanks.
If we're talking about for something for something else, then it's a process of exchange that's implied. You're substituting one thing for another. You're
Yeah,
handing something over and getting something back. So in its full context, exchange is better. But in terms of just stylistic clues, we wouldn't use the word determine twice in the sentence either.
okay, yeah.